Hello everybody, welcome back to Ranked, the only show on the internet where I take my biased opinions, throw them on a tier list. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single Nintendo first-party franchise. Let's get into this. First of all, let me just say these are my biased opinions. Your opinion happens to be different? Let me know down in the comments. But I don't really care. If you feel like I didn't do a good job of ranking these games, then head down to the description. There you'll find a link to the tier list. If you want, feel free to film a YouTube video and tag us with #ranked. Right here. Alright, first up we've got Animal Crossing. I've had plenty of time with this game, and honestly, I don't feel like I wasted it. I still feel guilty at times though for leaving my villagers to rot on Hyrule Island. I have fond memories of Animal Crossing. Long hours spent articulating everything about my island, and never giving any care in the world about anything else. For these wonderful memories of Animal Crossing, we're going to be putting it into Dastardly tier. Next up is Fire Emblem. This game, alike to the previous, I have such good experience with it. I played through Fates and Awakening, and I played a good bit of Echoes. In general, Fire Emblem holds a good amount of memories for me. It isn't the greatest game on this list, but it's definitely still pretty good. I'm putting it in S tier. Up next, we've got Game & Watch. Now, Game & Watch is actually Nintendo's first portable console, and is very important to some people. However, I just don't think it holds up well at all when compared with the other franchises on this list. Sure, playing a game on the Game & Watch was probably pretty fun, but I just think in terms of what the game could actually do, it just doesn't live up to the enormous nature of today's games. It's not a horrible game franchise, far from it, it just doesn't hold up when compared with everything else. D tier. Next up is Kirby. Now, this game series as a whole is pretty fun. It had some pretty fun games. I don't think it's nearly as good as something like Zelda or Animal Crossing, but it's still pretty good. But old Kirby still has a place up there among the greats. A tier. Next up, we've got the Plumber Man and his crew. Mario! Mario's a classic, featuring not 1, not 2, not even 5, but 11 characters. Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Yoshi, Toad, Bowser, Rosalina, Donkey Kong, Wario, Princess Daisy, and Waluigi. This is honestly the crew that everybody's memories have come from. So many beautiful games have come from them that it's hard to ignore the power that they hold. It's also hard to ignore Mario's prowess in general. It's not my favorite franchise, but Nintendo definitely has something good here. As sub-franchises of Mario, we've got Yoshi, Wario, and Donkey Kong. From my experience, Yoshi is a very colorful and cute game franchise. A tier. Donkey Kong, although I haven't played a game from it, seems pretty fun and the fan base seems pretty good. B tier. And Wario. The games seem alright, definitely not on the same level as Super Smash Bros. Or Fire Emblem. Still solid fun games though. B tier. Up next, we've got Metroid. I played a game from this franchise once, and I'm just gonna be perfectly honest here. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Nothing against Metroid, but it's just not my favorite. I'm gonna have to put it into C tier. Next, we have Pikmin. This game series is beloved by a huge amount of people, but regretfully, I have never played a game from it. Please, please, please do not kill me. Anyway, this game series seems like a blast. I guess for me, the only problem is that I don't really have any personal memories with it. That's all. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to put it in A tier. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, snap! It's a Pokemon! This game series is solid. I have lots of fun memories from back in the good old days of these games. It's not the best game franchise in the world, but it's definitely among the greats. We're just gonna casually ignore the monstrously glitchy nightmare that is Scarlet and Violet. S tier. Next is Splatoon. Our good friend Octoboy from the Off the Wall podcast absolutely loves this game franchise, and I can see why. It's not bad in the slightest, but it all comes down to personal preference. And I wouldn't choose Splatoon first if I were in need of a game. I would probably pick The Legend of Zelda. I have played the second and third games though, and they were blast. The only problem was that my Wi-Fi stunk, and so I couldn't really play online that well. Story mode is pretty good though, and for those reasons, I'm gonna put it into A tier. Up next, we've got Star Fox. Now, this game is actually a classic for me. It was the first Nintendo series I ever played. I originally played Star Fox 64 3D, and I'm just gonna be perfectly honest here, I stunk at it. A few years later, I picked up the game again, and it just didn't have the same spark for me. Personally, I'd put it alongside Wario and Donkey Kong in B tier. Super Smash Bros. A classic game franchise. I think In terms of playtime, I put hundreds of hours into this game series. It's definitely up there when it comes to my favorites. Recently, I've sort of fallen away from Smash Ultimate, but I still think the game is really good. If you haven't ever played Smash Bros, what are you doing with your life? Get some help, please.
Stop it. Get some help.
S tier, baby. The Legend of Zelda. Ooh, goody. Where do I even begin? The memories? Just the games themselves? Ugh. If you can't already tell, I love The Legend of Zelda. My life has been full of it ever since 2019. Starting with Breath of the Wild, of course, in 2019. I've been hooked ever since. I haven't played every game in the series, but I still loved every second of what I played. The memories I have from each and every moment will never be forgotten. When Tears of the Kingdom came out, I immediately bought it, and I immediately loved it. I love Zelda, and in my eyes, it deserves the top spot, not just when it comes to Nintendo games, but gaming in general. Dastardly. The Wii franchise. In my eyes, this game series doesn't hold up beautifully when compared with the other Nintendo games, but it's still pretty solid. I played some stuff from it, and I liked what I played, but again, I just don't think it holds up too well. Ask someone from 10 years ago, and they'd probably tell you S tier, but right now, I just don't think they're the greatest. B tier. Finally, we've got Xenoblade Chronicles. I have played 30 minutes of the game. I'm sorry. I like what I played. However, as is clear from my 30 minutes of gameplay, I wasn't hooked. Given what I've seen online, it's definitely a solid game series, just not my favorite. B tier. And with that, consider the Nintendo game franchises ranked. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Ranked. If you're feeling nice, like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to check the description so you can rank the Nintendo franchises yourself. If you want to watch more Ranked, then click on one of the videos that appears on screen. Alright, I'll see you next time. Peace.